Alright, so now we're going to move on to our exponent rules. So I'm going to be doing 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So we'll go ahead and start with number 24. Let me zoom in a little bit. Alright, so number 24 says we have 3x to the fourth times 3x to the fourth. Alright, so remember what I told you guys earlier, my kiddos, if you had something like the square root of 2 times the square root of 2, right, that would be the square root of 4, which the square root of 4 is 2. But instead of multiplying the insides, right, this is times, you can just notice that the square roots, it looks like they canceled, and your answer is just what's on the inside. So this answer here, I could do the same thing. This answer is going to cancel, so your answer is just what's left over on the inside. And we're done. Alright, number 25 says you have x to the 2/3 divided by x to the 1/2. I like writing it like this so I can see it better. Now remember, for our exponent rules, when we divide, we keep the base. Always remember, keep the base and subtract exponents. So I'm going to do 2/3 minus 1/2, right? I can't do that because they don't have a common denominator. When you're adding or subtracting fractions, you have to have a common denominator. So I need to make a common denominator. My common denominator between 3 and 2 is 6. If you're not sure what the common denominator is, all you can do is just multiply the two guys together, the bottom. 3 times 2 is 6. So now I'm going to look. 3 times what is 6? 2. What I do to the bottom, 2 to the top, so 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 times 3 is 6. What I do to the bottom, do to the top, so 3 times 1 is 3. So 4, 6 minus 3, 6. Denominator stays the same. We subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1, so it's 1/6. So your answer for this problem is x to the 1/6 power. The base stays the same. Alright, let's go to number 27. So I have 6x to the -5th times y to the 4th, z to the 11th, times -3x cubed, y squared, z to the -8. Alright, so here there's no dividing, we're multiplying. So when we multiply exponents, instead we keep the bases, right? So keep the base, same thing, keep the base. But now instead of subtracting, we are going to add exponents. So first let me focus on my whole numbers. So 6 times -3 is -18. And now look at your x's. So you keep the base, right? And you're adding. -5 plus 3 gives you -2. And then we have the y's. So keep the base. 4 plus 2 is 6. And then we have our z's. So 11 plus -8 would be z to the 3rd power. Alright, so remember what I said. Here, we usually don't like having negative exponents. So what I'm going to do is check if any of them are negative. So like here, this exponent is positive, this exponent is positive, but this guy is negative. So I need to bring him down. Now the -18, guys, he's negative. That's okay, because we can have a negative number, right? We just can't have a negative fraction. So for him, he's going to stay on the top. the y is going to stay on the top and the z is going to stay on the top, and on the bottom we're going to move the x down, so then you get x squared. And that's your final answer. Alright, let's go to number 28. Okay, so number 28 says we have a to the 4th b squared over ab to the 0 to the negative 1 power. Now remember, if you have a negative exponent and you have a fraction, remember, flip the inside. So it's going to become like this. ab to the 0, a to the 4, b squared to the first power. Alright, so first power goes away, right? Because anything to the first power doesn't do anything. So I'm just going to get rid of that. So you have b to the 0 now. Now remember from class, anything to the 0 power is 1. So you're getting a on top, a to the 4th, b squared. Now your b is good, but you have this right here where you can simplify. So yeah, you can either move the 4 up or we can subtract. This is really a to the first power. So 1 minus 4 gives you negative 3. So I can reduce this to a to the negative 3 over b squared. But now I want to bring this guy down to make him positive. So I get 1 over a cubed b squared. That is my final answer. Alright, let's look at number 29. '29 says we have 28 a to the 4th, b to the negative 2, c to the 3rd, and then 4a to the 4th, b to the 0, c. Alright, so 28 divided by 4 is 7. So I can just go and simplify that real quick. So you're going to get 7, right? Do you see how I have a to the 4th on the top and a to the 4 on the bottom? Those are going to cancel. Also, if you think about it, 4 minus 4 is 0, so a to the 0 is 1. So that's why those guys cancel. So then for my b's, I'm going to have negative 2 minus 0, right? So just b to the negative 2. So, and this is also 1, so you can also cancel that out. So you have b to the negative 2 power. And then for your c's, you have 3 minus, this exponent is 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So you get c squared. Now I'm checking, everything is good except this guy's negative. So I'm going to bring him down. So I get 7c squared over b squared. Everything's positive. That's my final answer. Alright, moving on. So we have number 30. So we have 3xy squared, third z to the 3rd power, over 3xy to the 4th z. Okay, so let's start with the numerator. Y'all see I have my face, my staggering exponents right here. So when you do that, you multiply the i's. But here's the dealio. You have 3x and y in parentheses. So these all have a power of 1. So the 3 distributes to all of them. So just be careful. So you end up getting 3 cubed, x cubed, y to the 3 times 2 is 6. And then you have z to the 3rd power is still chilling on the outside. On the bottom, I have 3x squared y to the 4th z. That's fine. Okay, so 2 ways this is a 1, I can already subtract the exponents. You could do 3 cubed is 27 divided by 3, or, right, and then figure what that is. Or I can do 3 minus 1 is 2, so this is 3 squared. on the top. So x to the third, y to the 6, z to the third, and then x squared, y to the 4z. Alright, keep going. So 3 squared is 9. I have x to the third, right? So x to the third divided, so it's going to be 3 minus 2, which is x to the first. And then for your y, you have 6 minus 4, which will be y squared. And then for your z, you have 3 minus 1 is 2. Because when you divide, you subtract exponents. So your answer is 9xy squared z squared. Everything's positive, so we're good.